Is there an inflation threat?
I don't think so. We've just come through the Great Recession, which was a great deflation. We are now in a reflation, which was engineered deliberately by Ben Bernanke to pull us out of deflation. It's the right thing to do. If he overstays his welcome in that policy, then reflation, which is salutary and wonderful, could turn into a dangerous inflation. But that's not where we are so far. The only risk with inflation now is that we don't have enough of it. Like it or not, the American economy is habituated to about a 2% core inflation rate. We're running well below that.
Right.
That feels like deflation, and an economy that is trying to deleverage can't stand any deflation at all.
Let me get Brian in. Brian, is there a bigger threat? In other words, 2%, whatever, 4, 5, 6%.
But those numbers aren't even right. We export prices, excluding agriculture, up 8% in the past year, the fastest ever on record. Core producer prices are up 3.5% at an annual rate in the last 3 months. There is clearly an inflation problem, and I totally disagree with Don about deflation. We didn't have deflation. We had a panic. Gold prices fell. They went right back up to new highs. We have more inflation today than we did before 2008, 2009. I hope they don't come out of Jackson Hole with a QE 3 or 4 or 8 or whatever you want to call it. The Fed is way too easy. I think Rick Perry was on to something the other night.
Well, that was my defense. Wrong words, but right analysis. Don Luskin, in days of yore, skyrocketing M2 and skyrocketing gold would be indicators of an inflation problem. Do you think that's no longer the case? Has the world changed?
The world's changed in a lot of ways. Larry, it used to be that there was just a very high correlation that you could feel with your fingertips and prove with an Excel spreadsheet between the gold price and the consumer price index. That relationship has simply not obtained for about the last 15 to 17 years. We just need to get over that. It doesn't work anymore. Gold is telling us something else. The money supply has become a much more difficult thing now too, because the economy has become more global, and we now find ourselves in a world of extremely unusual, unprecedented, never before experienced monetary policy. We're having all kinds of financial re-regulation going on. There are all kinds of things in Dodd-Frank that are causing banks to have to move money around from category to category for various kinds of FDIC insurance and other factors. So all of these old compasses aren't pointing to true north anymore. They're just spinning. They're not good guides.
I'll give you the last word.
Sure, they don't matter anymore, because when you look at the consumer price index, the producer price index, import-export prices, all of them are going up. And I just want to say something about Rick Perry. You know, back in 1896, William Jennings Bryan gave a fiery, passionate speech where he said, "Let them meet us on the battlefield. We will fight them. How could they put a cross of gold on our heads?" His words were no less fiery and passionate than Rick Perry's.
That was the subject.
I think Perry
Those words are the words of crackpots. Come on, don't be ridiculous.
We covered that story last night.